Okay. Oh wait, no, I need to bring up that. Fabulous. Hello. Welcome, welcome, welcome to day 41 of the Ultimate Fight series, where we are just rocking and rolling. We're something like 2,750 fights down. 8,493 to go. But you know what? All we do is we just get straight back into it, just pick some more fights, and just get onto it. So anyway, I hope y'all doing fabulously. Accompanying me today, cup of tea, as always, can't go wrong with a cup of tea. A giant cup of water, as always, can't go wrong with a giant cup of water, and 4 Monte Carlo biscuits. They're a lovely blend of wheat biscuit with like a cream, imagine like an Oreo cream, but it's got like a really thin layer of like raspberry gelatin around it. It's very delightful, very delicious. I wonder if Utakata gets the special kissy treatment. No, he doesn't. I can't wait to do that one on Jiraiya. I've got a funny feeling he's got an even better one. No, wrong one. That's the one we want. Alright. So after what's it? To further on to like my whole like thing about that renters TV show, just all about renters, people renting for properties around New Zealand that are owned by like property managers, and just some of the states that they leave things in. And what's it? So a boy last night, he was watching Can't Pay Will Take It Away. Like not like exactly the same, but English show about people owing debts, and then basically go through the High Court, and then these bailiffs have to come and be like, yo, it's essentially a case of you have to pay this amount right now, or we start seizing goods from your property that you own, that will make up the value of the debt. So like, say you're owning like $3,000, and they pull up, like you can't pay the oh my goodness, excuse me, and you can't pay the $3,000, and there's no way you can get that money, like we can't borrow from people, whatever. They'll be like, oh, that nice Volkswagen Polo that you have out in the driveway, is that yours? And you'll be like, yes, that's mine. It's like, can you prove it to me that it's yours? I'm like, I guess, yeah. And then they can check the registry, and yep, it's mine. And they're like, great, it's gone. And because we have to remove a car, you also got to pay for the removal fees. Oh, it's just like, it's been soul destroying. But if it's anything, it is a stark reminder that of what happens when you owe debts, and when you're owing debts that you can't pay. Like me and the boy have made it very like, we have a very clear and strong philosophy with each other that we never ever buy things ever that we can't afford in cash, or with some very, very few exceptions, which are at least then talked through with each other, which is A house, B, if there's like a, because he's wanting to buy a 4-wheel drive truck at the moment, so if he needs to go on some sort of hire purchase or whatever, then that's perfectly all good, like not a problem with that, because at least it's just one example, and actually when he goes to buy one he'll probably be able to cover most of the cost anyway, by trading in his truck at the moment, as well as some cash on top. So we've got that, but literally everything else is cash, like any new video game. So like if, let's say, Final Fantasy 16 comes out and I'm dead broke and, you know, I've got like $20 in my pocket and nothing in my savings, I can't buy it. I can't even put on like Afterpay or something, just not at all. Because it's a simple case of if you can't afford it, then don't buy it. The only time we would use something like Afterpay is if in an absolute emergency, let's say there was like only, I don't know, my phone just got crushed by a meat grinder, and we didn't have the money to buy one, but I needed a phone. That would be like that would be probably the one exception, would be in cases like that. Yeah, but it's just like there was a guy on one of last night's one on this Can't Pay show where what did he do? He had bought it sounds like he had bought a car from someone, and it was an absolute, like, was not roadworthy at all. It was just had so much work done to it, blah 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 blah. But I think this guy bought it on he'd bought it on hire purchase, so he needed to do weekly payments. So he'd done that. Guy had like taken it away twice, tried to fix it, or it's never seemed to be fixed properly. And all of the stuff sort of happens, and then so the guy ended up not making any more car payments, almost as like in a sign of protest, just about how rubbish this car was that he had bought, and why the hell had he bought such a rubbish car. So then the guy that sold it to him basically said, right, to recover my debts, whatever, going to put something through the High Court, and then suddenly now the bailiffs have to execute this writ of has to basically go in and recover this debt in some respect. Yeah, so and then otherwise they can now legally like come into your house and start like grabbing stuff to sell. God, it would just be. But like a part of me like feels for that guy, because if what he's saying is true, then it's like, he's been given an absolute lemon of a car, and then it just sounds like the seller's a bit of a dickwad. But at the end of the day, and that's the thing that the bailiffs, because they are like, all of them are hard guys, like no nonsense, I've like seen the worst of society kind of stuff. And what's it? Yeah. And so, but like, I can't admit, like, if I was in that situation, I would feel really awful for this guy. I'd be like, he's been given the absolute lemons. I empathise. But at the end of the day, they are there to enforce a court order. They're not there to make any personal opinion judgments. Yeah. They're not there to act on their personal opinion. So there's nothing they can really do about that. They can just be like, oh man, that sucks. Anyway, so you owe about $3,000. Where's that? It's just bad. And then there was a lady as well. Oh, bless her soul. It's obviously not the first or the last time it will happen, but there was one guy, and so, they went to the house to, get the court order sort of thing in the bob. And he wasn't home, so they broke him. And then they ended up calling his wife or his partner. Wife or anyway, one or two. So this old lady. to say, yo, because apparently she's helped been, she's been given authority by the debtor to act on his behalf, kind of thing. And so basically, her and her daughter come to the house, and the daughter's like, my mom doesn't owe this debt, blah 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 blah. And the bailiff's like, yeah, we know that. We know your wife doesn't owe, your mum doesn't owe the debts, but this guy does, and so we need the money. Like, it's not her debt. She doesn't have to pay anything. If she doesn't want to pay anything, then that's completely all good. We'll just need to start seizing his stuff. Like, they wouldn't be taking her car to pay for the debts. They'd have to only take things that the guy owned or the debtor owned. So anyway, so the chick ended up, because it was like the police suddenly turned up because she had tried to withdraw £5,000 cash, and the bank's fraud team was like picked it up as something dodgy. Like, why the hell would she need to withdraw £5,000? So then the police got involved, and the police went over just to check that the bailiffs were actually, not just scammers trying to get her out of something. So they did all that, and the police like, okay, no, that's all good. What's it? And then so anyway, so she ended up, she made a payment, and then I think like the following month or something, they ended up being able to make the other payments, so the debt was cleared. But then when the lady was talking to the camera, she was saying it's not the first time she's bailed this guy out on stuff. She's like 77 and she's still working, so she has money to bail him out of stuff. And it's just like, what? And you could just see the sadness and despair in her eyes. It was so sad to see. I'm just like, oh lady, you poor soul, like, you were so generous. So generous. But you could just see it's just like she's exhausted doing it. Yeah, but then the other interesting thing too between this and the Renters show is, like, in this one, like, most of the people are, their faces aren't shown. Also, faces are shown. Their names are right, know their first and last names. Whereas in like the Renters, they always only ever say like the tenant or the landlord, or the only people that the actual names of are the property managers, because I mean they're themselves not doing anything particularly dodgy, so it's alright if people know what their name is. But yeah, and then like most of the time especially when it's coming to the tenants, which have just been absolute absolute disgusting savages, all their faces are like obscured, so you would have no idea who it is, because at the end of the day, like, imagine if you had trashed the place, you knew, self-aware or not, that you're just an absolute rubbish tenant, and just like imagine if you trashed the place, or whether someone else had trashed the place for you but it was your name on it. And like, imagine your face and name going on national TV. Like, that's it. You're not getting, you're not getting any rental place anymore. But then, like, imagine like your family and your friends being like, "Yo, saw you on TV last night. God damn, didn't know you lived like such a pig." At least like in the UK, they're just like, you don't want to be, do you want to have a $10,000 debt that you're not paying? Sure, we'll just let everyone who knows you everything about that. Beans. Come on. Oh, come on. There we go, thank you. I've already spilled biscuit crumbs, oh my goodness. Biscuit crumbs down my shirt. Oh goodness, she's very scratched up. Yeah, so basically, moral of the story is, don't get a debt that you can't pay. And especially for something like holidays, vehicles, non-super important life depending on it kind of stuff as well. Now, sometimes there are just some loans you just have to take out because either your life depends on it or someone else's does. You know, and that's fine. But like, if you're wanting a flash new boat, wait till you can afford it. So at the end of the day, when you get a loan, you'll be paying more for your boat than you would if you just bought it in cash. So. Come on. Come on, there we go. Thank you. Alright, what do we got next? Danzo and Young Lee. Fabulous, and those should have been shorter fights. Unless they weren't. It's got lovely eyelashes, must say. Danzo and Young Lee. Oh, and I feel like such an adult. Oh my goodness, I'm so happy. So we've got our first rates bill today for our house. You know, so we haven't until middle or end of November to pay it. Anyway, so I have in me room a life admin folder, and in the life admin folder is various bits of paper and bits and bobs that are like things like life administration sort of things. So I have, first off in my life admin folder book, I have a list of things that we need to buy for the house. So it's things like a bed, well, a guest bed. We have a bed. Oh, guest bed. What else we got? A God of War cookbook, because we do need that. A bedside table for the guest room and a bedside table for our room. Dining table and chairs. We don't even have that. We just eat our dinner on our lap sort of thing at the mo. Got that. I need vacuum bags. Poster frame for Balrog picture. So I've got that. And a whole variety of other things. And then, so then what I do is I put a priority list. Priority list of, you know, is it a high priority? Is it something we need? Is it just cosmetic thing? Is it a medium thing? So like we do need it, but we don't need it at right this second. That sort of thing. And then I give an estimated price. So how much do we think it's going to cost? In which case that's the money we kind of set aside for it. And we try and err on the side of cautions and make it higher estimate than what we do think it is. And then when we buy it, I say what the actual price was, because I'm like, did we save anything? Gives the illusion that I've saved something, but not really. And then I just give it a little tick when we've bought it, and it's great. So we've ticked off like 5 things already, but at least it's giving some focus to our house purchases. So that's that. So that's that one. That's that lovely one there. And then the next one across is things like when things are due for renewal. So like my driver's license on the 16th of October 2023, my license will expire. So I need to make sure that I renew my license before then. But then how do I know when to renew my license? So then I've got a lead time. So how much time do you need to do that renewal process? So say that, and then what date do I need to start the renewal of? And then once it's done, I tick. So I've got things like our car registrations, car warranty fitnesses, car services, which we've actually done it that they're all due at the same time, which is even better. It just makes it so much easier to manage. And then things like our driver's license, the boys' firearm license, passports, that sort of thing. Blah, blah. It's going to be fabulous. It's going to be great. So I just check that every once in a while and see what needs to be renewed and done. Because my intention is that I will be checking this like every Sunday night to see what's changed. But I think I need to add more things into it that would actually warrant checking it every single week. But it'll be stuff like and the things to buy. Is there something that we can buy next weekend? Is there have we got money saved up so we can buy something? So that's that. So that's that fabulous one. And then the next page over is, which I haven't started yet, but I probably should, is because I want to try and get slim, and not a blob, I've got measurements. I track my measurements, and just to see, because they say don't track weight, because weight will fluctuate up and down. It doesn't actually tell you your body, it's not giving you any kind of idea of your proper body composition. So do your measurements instead, which will give you a better reflection of what's actually going on. So there's that. I need to start doing that. And after this, I'll get to my favourite bit. It'll be so boring and so accountant-like, but I don't care. It's my favourite bit. Keep picking the wrong gaps. There we go. Get that little chain started. And then lovely, jumply. Okay, because then I feel like such an adult now as well. We got our first rates bill here. So, oh god, why did I quickly start? So, got till November to pay it, so that's all good. But then it's like, okay, well, when we do pay it, what do? Do I just chuck this out? Any normal person will say, yeah, you just chuck it out when you paid it. But, and I'll be like, how do I remind myself to keep paying? So I'll show you that after this fight. Because I'm very proud of myself. And it's something so banal and so simple, but it's just, for me, it's just, yes. It just makes it all work. Because really, like, for me, Like, I absolutely love, like, little simple administrative things. You know, you want me to do data entry in a spreadsheet? Bruh, I'll pay you to do data entry into a spreadsheet. I love it so much. It's like, it's just all these little things, you know, and I suppose it gives the illusion that your life is on track as well. Which is probably where I'm going for, but okay, so I've got this. So I've paid the rates bill. So how do we know that I've done it? Well, I bought a lovely little thing yesterday from Warehouse Stationery. Very, very excited. And where is it? Ugh. Where is it? This. It's a little paid thingy-bop, the little stamp. So once it's paid, I can just go, rates bill paid, stamp paid, big red letters to say it's paid. And then I can be like, I paid my rate bill, and then flip it over. Oh, it'll be fabulous. It'll be fabulous. Because then, otherwise, I've got to be like, oh, have I even paid it? No, I look at it and I don't see the big red stamp paid all across the front. So I haven't paid it. And then when I do, I can put that there. Oh, see, something so simple, but so effective, and I'm gonna love it. It's gonna be like the best time when I paid. And I can just pull it over and be like, stamp paid. It'll just be beautiful. It'll just be so beautiful. And so at this point in time, that's all I've really got in my life admin folder. Haven't actually got that much, but my intention is that I will eventually get heaps of stuff in my life admin folder. So I'll sit down on a Sunday evening and be like, flip through all the pages, like, right, do we need to buy anything? No. Okay, boom. Is there anything due for renewal this week? No. Boom. Do we do, like, have I measured myself this week? No. Boom, let's do that. And then, boom, is there any bills I can pay? Yes. Paid. Done. Like, oh, it'll be fabulous. It'll be so fabulous. So then I would now need to, like, think, because I've got 20 little sections in my folder. I mean, I could have more if I want to. But now I need to fill it up with other things. What are some other life admin things? So I was thinking, do we do like a savings tracker? Because I used to do one when we were saving up for a house. I created a big, huge spreadsheet to track all of our expenses and savings, across all of the different categories. How much are we spending in takeaways? How much are we spending for like medical things? How much are we spending on rent and utilities? How much are we spending on this? And seeing just how it all, and then I would actually highly recommend doing that to anyone, because the amount of, like, you don't realize how much you're spending on certain things. Like, we found out we were spending like sometimes over like $80-90 on takeaways a week for some weeks, and we're just like, whoa, we had no idea. But with the savings tracker, we then discovered that we were, so we're like, okay, now we know we can cut down on our takeaway spending. It was fabulous. And then just seeing like how much we're able to save each week, and then just see that number just slowly go up and up and up and up and up. And then when there were things that because there was also a separate savings fund that I was trying to do for, and this was before we had moved cities, so I knew, I know when we moved cities that we're going to have to buy things like a fridge, that we're going to have to buy things like a fridge and a washing machine and all that sort of stuff. So what I did is I had a separate savings fund that I would fill up, and then I would find out what the average price of a fridge is, again erring towards the higher side, and in the separate savings fund I'll put stuff in there, and then I'll track along a little chain how many appliances have I saved up for. Because then it was absolutely fantastic, because then what happened was that when we moved cities, boom, bought a fridge, bought the washing machine, actually never did buy the air fryer, bought all of these, bought a bed, bought a sofa, all of these things we bought without no hire purchasing, not a loan in sight, bought them all cash straight, but I'd fully saved them up for all of them, so boom, we didn't have to think about any sort of loan purchase. We could buy all the necessities straight there, and then it was fabulous. And it just felt, part of me was just thinking, it just felt so freeing. Like, it's like we don't have to worry about doing my fridge payment, don't have to worry about doing my bed payment, don't have to worry about, don't even have to worry about doing a car payment, because I bought my car straight in cash. It's all these little things that, like, you don't realise that we now don't have to worry about it. And it's, hashtag highly recommend. I'm no financial advisor either. Disclaimer, I'm not an expert in personal finance. This is purely just what we've experienced. But also, it also probably helps by the fact that me and the boy are very, very, very aligned on how we approach money stuff. So it's not a case of like I spend frivolously and he tries and saves every cent. It's not a case of he spends frivolously and I try and save every cent. There's certain things that we won't compromise on. But like what those are is practically like nil. Like my only real, like, I suppose, requirement in life for me is when a new game comes out that I want to buy, I want to be able to buy it. That's all my requirements are. Yeah, and if he wants to buy like a super nice rack of ribs or a steak or something like that, then he can buy that. But other than that, we're pretty much the same. Yeah, so again, disclaimer. Not a financial advisor. Just anecdotally what we've experienced. Yeah, because our only debts now, actually, now I think about it, the only debts that we have are the mortgage on the house, and then my student loan, and that's it. Which, I mean, with my student loan, if I just don't do anything different, I'll have that paid off in something like 3 or 4 years. But if I make extra payments, I can reduce that down to like 2 years even, or even less than a year. Or if I just somehow come across like eight grand, if I somehow come across 8 grand, I could just pay the whole thing off in one go, which actually probably be the most prudent thing, because then I get like an extra 400 a month. There we go, fabulous. Yeah, then once my student loan's paid off, I'm thinking, I'm wanting anyway. My only debt ever again in my life is my mortgage on my house. Like, living debt free would be, fabulous, absolutely fabulous. It's just another thing that you just don't have to worry about. But we were also, so I was watching a YouTube video on, so me and the boy, we kind of have our personal finance phases. We were like looking up all these tips for like saving and budgeting and, and life hacks and all those sorts of things. But I was watching one video a guy did, I think he lives in Auckland, of Costco versus Pack and Save. Or Costco versus... Yeah, it was mainly Pack and Save, but he did, when he couldn't find something at Pack and Save, he did the countdown alternative. But he was comparing Costco price, because so like in New Zealand, we have a duopoly. It's either Pack and Save or it's countdown. I mean, there is, oh, sorry, I lie. It's the company, so Foodstuffs is Pack and Save, and Countdown is Woolworths, which is the Australian one. But so Foodstuffs has a whole bunch of different stores, but essentially it's those two big cooperatives, and that's it. Actually, no, I don't think Countdown's a Woolworths is a cooperative. But anyway. So, you know, Costco coming into New Zealand is now like, oh, we're throwing a cat amongst the pigeons kind of thing. It's a, you know, another so and so is into the arena, and it's kind of shaking things up because so this guy did a comparison of prices, and he found that it was something like the biggest eye opener was, what was it, like moisturizing lotion or something? It was like per litre or something. No, per 500 grams. Because he did it by weights. He did it by weights rather than unit size, because unit sizes can all differ. So he did it by weight, and he says something like per 500 milliliters or whatever of this lotion. At Pack and Save, it would cost you like $40. And again, these aren't the actual prices, but it was just to give the impression, like the equivalent. It was like, it was something like $38, and then at Costco it's like $14. So like less than half the price at Costco for this exact same thing. And it was crazy. And then for like most items across the board, it was something ridiculous like $5, $2 to $5 cheaper at Costco than at things. So like we have been overpaying on like, especially on like healthcare, like toiletry items. We've been overpaying on them like by a country mile, and it was so eye-opening. It was so eye-opening. But with the trade-off being that when you do your weekly shop at Costco, your weekly shop's gonna come to like 100, no, not even 100, 600 and something, because you're buying in bulk. So like I get my Dolmio tomato cheesy mozzarella is my absolute jam. And it's my absolute jam. So at, you know, Pack Save, it's a jar is something like ranges from like $3.80 to $3.50 to $4.60, something like that, depending on where and how you buy it. But what's it? So per unit, Costco is cheaper, but if I'm wanting to buy Dolmio, I'm going to spend $30 because I have to buy all 6 jars in the tray kind of thing. So, you know, and then at least then I've got 6 jars, and I'm technically spending less per jar than I would be at Pack and Save. But then now I've got to make sure that I'm using all of my Dolmios. I'm using all my Dolmio before it goes off, because that's the other thing. The other danger, I guess, is that if you're buying all of the stuff in bulk, then you've got to make sure, you know, that you're eating it all before it all goes off. And actually that was probably where the guy found where Pack and Save was actually probably better, is in the produce section. Costco isn't particularly competitive when it comes to produce, and I think, well, if you're buying, you know, it's all right if you eat a hell of a lot of vegetables, but if you don't, you know, or it takes you a month to get through a sack of potatoes like us, then buying 10 sacks of potatoes, good luck getting through that in this year, you know. But otherwise you just found across the board it was, you know, meat was like, yeah, $5 cheaper. I mean, toiletry items were just like less than half price cheaper. Yeah, it was crazy. I mean, there were some things like random items that were cheaper at Pack and Save. Like I think like all the, you know, Pepsi and Coke and all that was cheaper at Costco. But then Powerade, like blue Powerade, was then cheaper at Pack and Save, even though Powerade's owned by the same company. I think Powerade's owned by Coke, I'm pretty sure. So it's just odd that just randomly that one's more expensive. But anyway, but generally, Costco is actually more affordable. And the other thing too that was a bit odd was what was it? The other thing too that was odd was like the food court stuff. The food court thing was weird. So like they went to the food court and you can get like a pizza slice, a hot dog, and like a drink of Coke or Pepsi for like $5.50. And I'm thinking, that is the biggest bargain I've ever heard of in my life. Because normally that's like a $12 meal, you know. But then it's like strikes me as odd because now I'm thinking, hang on a second. Yes, it's all well and good them being that, but it's like, is your stomach gonna hurt after eating that? Like, is it a good slice of pizza? Is it a good hot dog? Because I suppose that's the whole like trade-off, is that it could all be cheap as hell, but is it actually any good? Because then you showed like a picture of the food court, and it was insane prices. Like, my god, it was unbelievable. But on the flip side, is your tummy gonna hurt after? and that's my like. So while I would like love to go, I'll be very hesitant. I'll be very dubious of the food, purely because like I know you can get quality food for cheap prices, but like in this day and age, I'm just very, very skeptical about food that's that cheap. Like unless food is a scam and we've been overpaying everything for like years on end. Like, and actually all this quality food is only worth like, $2. But it's something inside me is like, maybe not. We've also been also had our cups of tea reminding us to change to clean the kettle out, because now we're getting all those that lime scale deposit stuff. Started getting all this like white grit in our tea. So I had a Google because I'm like, oh god, are we dying? Are we gonna die if we eat this stuff? But no, we won't die. We won't die if we eat it. It actually gives us a little boost of calcium, so that's all fun and dandy. Anyway, what I'm going to do is I'm going to update my list. So what are we down to? 8,467. Alright. And Streamlabs is now telling me I've got drop frames. Okay. Drop frames, lovely. Anyway, back to the gig. Alright, now we've got Shisui again, and Sasuke Orochimaru. Lovely. Yeah, so, because I know Costco's I know it started in Auckland, but there'll be other ones coming across the country. So me and the boy were thinking like, oh, would we actually do a shop at Countdown? Because I think the membership is something like, it's something like, what's the mob? Something like $60 a year or something crazy like that. And I say crazy as in like crazy cheap. And then but then we'll probably end up doing one shop just to see what would be worth buying in bulk, because we don't actually go through. I want to say we don't go through that much food-ish. We probably have more just like throwing things together meals than like a proper, you know, 20 ingredient dinner. We tend to have like low ingredient sort of meals. So we don't actually eat that much, so it'll be worth seeing what we can buy. Although, that being said, chicken, as the boy, and I suppose me as well, should be me as well, starts getting more handy into our attempt at fitness plan, we're going to be needing to eat a hell of a lot more chicken. So if the chicken there in bulk is way cheaper than it's going to be per 100 grams than at Pack and Save, that will be our place for chicken. So here it'll be the kind of like thing like 2 kgs a week for just for the boy alone kind of stuff. Bam. Wait. Okay. And then we've got a bitter must man and young conqueror. Ugh. Ugh. Ick. Ick. Come on. Oh, come on. There we go. Fabulous. Lovely. Fabulous. Right now, what are we at? Oh, young conqueror, of course. Conqueror and Obito Master Man. So it's already gone into like crazy mode. I think it should be okay. So far it's looking okay. Oh, come on. Of course, because he doesn't... Oh, that's annoying. Oh my goodness. If I lose this one, I don't care. Conqueror is such an awful character to play as. Such an awful character to play as. Screw it, I'll do this. There we go, lovely. That was such an awful fight, but at least I won. Alright, now we've got Kakashi and Mifune. Be a better one. Sorry, Mifune, I must apologise. Fabulous. Boom. Lovely. We've got Mifune. Oh, wrong one. There we go. Lovely. Oh, come on. Come on, come on, come on. Oh, bruh. Screw it. Screw it, screw it, screw it. Nope. There we are. Okie dokie. Hokey pokey. Ugh. Now we've got Roshi and Young Shino. And I'm just going to see, because I'm keep getting all these alerts for drop frames. Poor internet connection. Oh, fabulous. Fabulous, fabulous. Well, that's always great. Lovely. Lovely, lovely, lovely. Okay, anyway. I'd rather not end the stream. If I can help it. So I know I've had something similar to this ages ago, and it kind of just sorted itself out a little bit. Maybe actually I probably need to close all my interweb tabs. Yo, Shino, do you want to just like not? There we go, that's better. Come on! I am just having an absolute rotten luck today with getting these ultimates to hit. Oh, come on. There we go. God, that was awful. Okay, Young Shino. Lovely. Okay, I'll leave it at that. Right, now we've got Jiraiya and second Mizukage. Okay, I'm happy I got that little like catch him in the middle of in midair with the jutsu. Okay. What are we on? We've got now second Mizukage. Lovely. And who was I just playing as? Jiraiya. Delicious. Delightful. Haha. How? Hey, whoa, 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 whoa. How the hell did he just use, I swear to God, he just used an ultimate, oh sorry, not an ultimate, substitution, and one of his notches didn't go down. I swear on my life. I'm like, is that how these motherfuckers seem to always be able to use substitution, like all the time? Again, cheating. That's so cheating. Alright, Sakura. And Kushina. It's got a pretty decent range, but not. Okay, so Kushina's just going handy. There we go, lovely. Fabulous. Kushina and Sakura. There we are, lovely. Now I've got biscuit crumbs everywhere, that's fabulous. So, I have been, because I'm trying to rejuvenate my hair to varying levels of success. But, yesterday I bought, no, not yesterday. I bought online anyway. Some fancy new stuff, so I got some like banana butter leave-in condition. I got some like grow scrub, which is like a nice little don't even know how you describe it. Just like a little, kind of like imagine exfoliating stuff that you just like massage onto your scalp, and it removes all the build-up and everything. But so I did all this stuff, and oh my god, my hair is looking, it's feeling fresh and it's feeling fabulous. But I think what I need to do is, so my hair has been like, it's been a case of, for 26 years of my life, I have not known how to look after my hair. I don't know what curly hair needs. I don't know what the best products are for it, and it's only been like recently in the last 3 months or so that I've actually like properly tried to take it a proper look. So actually no, I lie. A couple of years ago, I thought that I knew what I needed, which was I just needed it to be conditioned all the time, which meant leaving the conditioner in all the time, which was great. But then after like a day, it's just an absolute ball of frizz. And then so I did some actual proper looking, and found out that no, actually it's not just that it needs to be also conditioned, but just like everything else that goes with it, like heat, touching it with your fingers, everything you could possibly do to your hair is like bad for curly hair, because because it just wants to get rid of moisture like with a quickness. So like when it's drying, don't touch it with your hands, don't touch it with a brush, keep that comb away from it. It's like everything I was doing was what was destroying my hair. I mean, I didn't actually use brushes per se, but you know, all that sort of goodness. So anyway, and also too, leaving the conditioner in the hair isn't exactly doing it any favours either. Because I'm not leaving the right kinds of conditioners in my hair, because there's things in, like I'll just buy like the normal Pantene moisturising or whatever, just because it says it moisturises, but it's really meant for like straight hair, because there's like these different things that you can have in your conditioners, like silicons and sulfates and waxes, because sulfates dry your hair out, so you don't want to dry your hair out any more than it already wants to be dry. You don't put waxes and silicons in your hair because they're not exactly water soluble, which means that when you basically they perform a coating on your hair, which doesn't come off very easily. That means any moisture can't actually get into your hair because it's just all this waxes and silicons are blocking it. So you can't have stuff with that in your hair. So basically, I found a brand, Umberto something, that I bought all these. They've got like special curly hair products. Oh, life changing. But as much as they're helping, I think I need to reverse all the years of damage. I think I've got to get what's called a keratin blowout, which is basically they just get your hair and they just chuck all of this treat it with this super hundy hair formula that for curly hair will just make it go completely straight because it's got so much keratin in it. But what it does is it's meant to just do like a super repair of all your hair, just like reset it practically. So I think I need to get one of those done, and then afterwards carry on with what I'm doing at the moment. Because then the other thing too, when you're detangling, you're not meant to detangle with a comb. You're meant to detangle with your fingers. So all of these little things I'm slowly learning. But I'll get there eventually. Like, because my mum's always been a big proponent of, you know, you don't need all these fancy shampoos and chemicals and whatever in your hair. You know, it's just good old shampoo and condition is all you need. But then after looking at it in a bit more detail, no, I need get rid of shampoo unless it's like super special shampoo. Super special shampoo that's specifically made for it, or and not the normal conditions. I need fancy. So probably now I'm going to be spending more on my hair than I've ever spent before. But because we have stable personal finance rules and guidelines for ourselves, at least I'll actually have money to spend on my hair stuff. Lovely. And then who we got now? Naruto Kurama and young Naruto. Okay. Naruto Kurama and young Naruto. But if any of y'all have any, because now that I bought my little paid stamp, if any of y'all have any ideas about things like life administration things, so like things like savings trackers, things like things to buy or things to maintain for our house, whether it's like maybe I could have something for warranties on things, like when do the warranties on our different appliances and hot water cylinders, when does the hot water cylinder go out of the thing, when does the fireplace consent end, maybe it's just all of those sorts of things. Maybe I could have a thing like a meal planner actually, because we've always tried and failed to do a consistent and regular meal plan thing, because we've always we've gone so far as we've had like the containers to have it all in. We've made the big pot of something on a Sunday and dished it all out, which has lasted us the week, which has worked. We've tried to meal plan, so we would have on a whiteboard what we're having for lunch and dinner each day, which worked pretty well for a short amount of time, but I think it just got to the point where we just, once you've stopped once you haven't done it 1 week, that's it. So if anyone has any meal prep and meal planning tips, we're all ears. Oh, beans, I was meant to do that one again. Lovely. Okay, here we've got Kushina and Young Lee. but I'm also having to, oh my god, I'm struggling to resist the temptation. So because the Final Fantasy 16 trailer came out a couple of days ago, I haven't seen it yet because part of me is wanting to not see it because it's a story trailer. I kind of want to keep as many details of story and character as like, don't want to try and keep it as pure experience as possible. So I don't like, because I know that some trailers have, you can piece together the story from the trailer. I mean, Civil War released so many trailers that I remember, was it Civil War or was it Infinity War? No, Civil War. I remember I managed to piece together all the story beats in the exact order that they appeared just from analysing the trailers and trying to work out how, what would a film do, And so that was like, from that point on, just like never again. And I know that when Infinity War and Endgame came out, I promised myself I wouldn't I'd maybe watch the first trailer and that's it. The first teaser, and God bless. Thank God I did. Because it was fantastic. I didn't know what to expect and it was great. So I've been trying to apply the similar mentality, I guess, to Final Fantasy 16. But we've got like Final Fantasy peasant on Twitter saying it might be the best trailer he's ever seen in his life. I'm just like, oh god, it's so difficult. It's so difficult to do so. Like I need to see it because it's Final Fantasy as well, so you just know it's gonna look amazing. It's gonna be amazing. It's gonna be fantastic. But I just don't want any part of me also, if it's got like the big epic moments, like if it's got giant, cool, huge epic moments, I don't want them spoiled as well. Okay, well, I'm just going to update the list because now we're down to 8,447. And I've got so many drop frames. Okay. What I'm going to do is I'm actually going to close all of my internet tabs. I'm going to close anything that's not related to the stream. Okay. See if that helps. Right. What are we doing now? We're doing Sasuke Tucker and Mifune again. Lovely. Okay. Now Mifune. Sasuke Tucker. Is it? It is Sasuke Tucker, yes it is. There we go. Fabulous. Finally. And boom. Beans. Oh, wasn't meant to do that again, but okay. And whoop. Hello. Is your internet slow? No. I've got like 46% of my frames are being dropped. Yeah. Is it? Nice and toasty. You're gonna go on your computer? No? Just come say hi. Yeah. Have you had breakfast? No? Are you gonna have breakfast?
Maybe.
Maybe?
Yeah. What?
Depending on what you're making. Got no what? Okay, are you making porridge?
No.
Okay, no.
Maybe not.
Oh, okay, no, never mind. It's okay. It's okay. Oh my goodness. Now it's weird with my drop frames purely because every 2 minutes, so like it started at, 25% of your frames have dropped, and then the next 2 minutes 26%, and then the next couple of minutes 27%, and it's literally just climbed like that. For the last 40 minutes, it's every 2 minutes it's been like 1 more percent of the frames have been dropped, and I'm like, it's just odd how it's so incremental like that. You're half wet. Alright. Kakuzu. That booty shot. Cutting and Kakuzu. See, and now it's 47%. It was because it was 46 before, and then I bet you in 2 minutes it's going to update and say 48%. It's just weird. It's so odd. There we go. Lovely. Right, now who got Minato and Onuki. Bam. God, Minato's such a fun character to play as. It's definitely it's one of those games where like the faster characters feel better to play as. And I suppose, well, I mean, because it's like you're like ninja as well, it kind of, I suppose, fits in on brand as well. Lovely. Then Onoki. Oh, and also, okay, so tell me if this sounds dumb or not. So I'm gonna create what I call, so I suppose to assist with the meal planning, I guess, in a way. I'm gonna create what I deem my recipe database, and it's gonna be, and what I mean by that is I'm not gonna like list out, this is 2 cups, or preheat the oven to blah 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 blah. This is more like, so let's say, so what I mean the boys' meals that we have is, I say meal, it's just more like, we just chuck some chicken in the oven with some all-purpose seasoning, rub on it. We cook up some, and then we have it with spinach, and then maybe like a cup of rice or something like that. So what I would do is, I would, so in my recipe database it would be chicken with rice and thing, and it would be, okay, so what are all the calories in that, so and like exact measurements as well, so like, like 200 grams of chicken with 150 grams of rice and 20 grams of spinach or whatever. So what are the calories, what are the macros, like your protein, carbs and fat, what is your, and what are the exact grammage amounts. And if me and the boy have, because sometimes we have slightly different variations purely because his macro needs are different than mine. I mean, obviously being male and female, but also male and female, but also just, I suppose, our goals, I guess. And so I'll have all that down. So then when we, give it a name, so it'll be like chicken rice spinach surprise, something like that, I don't know. But then in my recipe database, so what we do is I'll have it'll be all Excel sheeted out. It'll be formulas, like formulas here, there and everywhere. But what you do is, so you'd have like your main tabs, you've got Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, whatever. So what you do is you put in what meal you're going to have on that day, and then automatically it fills in, like it adds to a like total calories for the day thing. So you can say, okay, and then it'll have it'll have things for if you're wanting any snacks or anything like that, just anything you want to eat during the day, you add it all in, and then it will give you the total number of calories for it as well. And then you'll be able to see total calories for the week. This is especially if you're trying to get in a deficit for over the week. What's it? So there's that, and then as well it'll give you all your macro totals and all that sort of thing. So then I can then change it to like a bit more of a glorified meal planner, and I suppose a day meal planner as well, because I would have, if I'm having like a full Monte Carlo biscuits this morning, which is probably not the best breakfast, at least then I can punch them in, and then it's giving me the total thing, because I know I'm going to have my chicken, rice and spinach surprise later on during the day. So I'm thinking of having this recipe database, and I'm also thinking of having it on Google Sheets as well, purely because then I could just whip it out on my phone and be like boom boom boom, and it should all, I think it should all work. I think. Although having said that, when I've got like, because I've got my game tracker on Google Sheets as well, and I've got a macro that you just click sort and it just sorts everything by like category, like whether it's completed or in progress, and then by alphabetical order, and that for some reason those buttons aren't visible on, for some reason the buttons aren't visible on mobile, so I can't really do that sort of sorting on mobile, but I think the formulas still work. So if the formulas don't work, then it would actually probably be better having it on just a normal Excel sheet. And then I've just got to make sure I've got the Excel app on my phone. Lovely. Fabulous. And then young Obito and Hinata. There we go, lovely. Yeah, because I suppose like when there was like a period of I suppose a few months actually, where we were, you know, we were doing actually quite well in our health and fitness journey. Like we were losing weight, we were, you know, eating way better than we were. And I found that like the whole calorie counting thing was actually quite fun to do. Like working out all the maths of everything and calculating it all in my little notebook was actually quite fun. But then it was just one of those things that once we stopped, like that was it. It was all over. And then just put on like double the weight back on. It was just awful. So now that we've, I suppose, got the foundations of our life sorted now. we've got the house, we've got, you know, good paying jobs, all of that sort of thing. Now we can properly focus again on getting back into the groove of it, and just fingers crossed it we can actually get it to stick. So the other, because it's not so much a problem, it's just more something we have to manage, I guess, is both of our families love food. We love food a lot. We love eating food, we love delicious food, we love overstuffing ourselves. So like it's hard when you're at family and I suppose they always say it's one of the hardest things when you're trying to do it, is like the pressure from your family to you know, to be eating lots, because you're like, you don't want to, you know, but then they're like, oh, but, you know, but then you feel rude, you know, eating your own sort of thing at a either like bringing your own thing to a family gathering, or not eating much at Christmas, all that sort of thing. But then, because we've got Christmas will probably be at our, well, I say it's at our place, but we've got like, I think my mum's coming over for Christmas this year. So we'll be able to make the food that we want to make, which would be great. It'll be onionless cooking. Oh goodness, definitely need to start my food blog of onionless cooking, because it'll be a whole host of recipes that don't require a single onion to be chopped. You know, we got no raw onions in that food blog. No raw onions at all. It'll be fabulous. My mum will hate it. Because she's like, onions bring out the flavour and everything. And I'm like, no, the only thing that onions do is make things taste like onions. They don't bring out no flavour. They just bring out the onion flavour. It's just something I've just never understood. Never understood. I defy anyone. I defy. It's the hill I will die on. I'll defy anyone who says that onions bring out flavours and other things. No. They just make it taste like onion. Salt makes things taste like salt. It's not enhancing no flavour. It be enhancing no flavour. Oh, come on. Come on! Right, now this is it. There we go. Right, what have we got next? Got Kakashi and Young Shino. Oh, God, no. Excuse me. Bam. Lovely. This is an easier fight. Damn. Dead. Alright. Okay. Now, Young Shino. See how this one goes. Hello. You good doing stuff outside? You doing the mowing? Oh, nice. I'll get a glass of water ready for you when you get picky. Which reminds me, oh my goodness, I've got to do some washing. I've got to do some laundry. Some clothes washing. Gotta get all my clothes and that's get our work clothes all done for Tuesday. Especially prevalent when you're a consultant that has to have meetings with clients, important clients and things. You don't want to be wearing old clothes. Cause, I know my boss would have the absolute cow if I was wearing some like old shirt that had some old stains on it. Oh my goodness. Well, I definitely wouldn't do that. But if I did, I know I would not leave work alive that day. Right now, when we're in like the last 20 minutes, suddenly all the fights are going by with an absolute breeze. The AI's just decided to chill. AI's taking an absolute chill pill. Yeah, because there's some, and I don't know if it's on a character basis, or like the AI just runs like a randomly, you know, it runs a randomly generated, how much of a dick am I going to be today for this fight kind of thing. But it's like, oh, I don't even know, like sometimes the AI will just not use substitution at all and just let itself just get beaten to an absolute crisp, while other times it's like it's just auto substitution locked setting. It's mental. Like that. If that was on any of the earlier fights, it would have been an absolute, they would just been using substitution every 10 seconds. No, not even every 10 seconds, every millisecond. And then lovely jubbly, look at that, fabulous. Okay, what have we got now? May and Madara, reanimation. May's actually probably one of those characters we actually haven't played as very often. At all, actually. I wouldn't be surprised if she's one of the. I'm feeling there's like a couple of characters, probably maybe about 5, that we just haven't touched much at all. Like I want to say Itachi, the reanimation version, May, and I want to even say, oh, do I want to say B? Maybe Kimimaro as well, just hardly touched. Come on. Lovely. And this is gonna sound really weird. I've always wondered, like, what would it feel like if, you know, if all of this was actually real and happened in the real world. If you get hit by, what's a good example? Yeah, if you get hit by that Magatama that Madara throws, what would that feel like? What would that feel like? Is it like a blunt force hitting you? Is it like cuts? Like, does it feel like things are cutting you or scratching you? Does it feel like you're just like external pressure? Like it's always a, you know, because I'd imagine, you know, when you're getting hit by Fire Dragon, you're gonna get burnt. But like for things like that, what does that feel like? See, the questions of the day, and it sounds really like masochistic, but it's... I'm just curious, like that. What does that feel like? Tell me, mate, what does that feel like? And that. Is that gonna like just, because that would just slice you in half normally. Or is it like, does it go through you? Or does it go through you but you just feel like a wind-like force that's like super strong go through you? Because I mean it's chopped mountains in half, but you seem to be relatively unscathed. Now we're Kakashi again. And Kakashi and young Kakashi. What does that feel like? Does that feel like electrical bends? Does that feel like you've got electricity just passing through your body? Or does it feel like blunt force trauma? I think that was a dumb move. That was a dumb move. Lovely. Lovely, lovely. Okay. And then young Kakashi and normal Kakashi. I say normal. Adult Kakashi. Lovely. Jubbly. Fabulous. Okay, now we've got Minato and Kankuro next. And I mean, at least adult Kankuro is a little bit better than young Kankuro, but still, it's just it's awful. Like, nice try, bruh, but it's just not working. I'm just thinking, what I might actually do is, I was just thinking, because, like, my fighting skill in this game, I don't think is, I mean, I've only learned, like, 2, I suppose, good skills or techniques to employ in this game, in the 2 2,500 fights I've done. I'm just wondering whether it might actually be cool, and I don't want to do it and fail spectacularly as well, but for the final fight that I'm going to be doing, which is, I know that I want the final 2 fights to be Naruto and Sasuke, like the last versions of them. I want it to be those two versus each other, with the final fight I do to be where I'm playing as Sasuke, because he is my favourite character, and I prefer him way more than Naruto. So I'm wondering, for that particular fight, should I bump the difficulty to the max? And yeah, bump the difficulty right up to the max, and see if I can win it. You know, I'll have done 11,226 fights, so surely I must have some level of skill. One would think, and one would hope, and then, you know, see if it all pays off. The 11,226 fights beforehand, see if I've learnt enough about the game for that to be worthwhile. The only problem I can see is Sasuke's ultimate. I find to be not perfect to get off. Right, Fu and Hanabi next. Like, it's one of those ones that you can just like, as much as with other ones, you can find ways of, you know, find specific situations where you just quickly react, and then you'll be able to hit the AI. Because I'm gonna have to be doing things like waiting for them to chakra dash in. I'm gonna have to be doing things like getting them to use all their substitutions before I then go in for the kill. Like, it's all of these sorts of things I'm gonna have to employ. Like, it's like precise use of that, like that thing where you dash in and it like stuns them for a bit, because like that would be what I'd have to do to be able to get the ultimate off. Lovely. No, not Hanabi, start rotation. And Fu. Oh no, here comes the stupid thing of trying to get her ultimate off. Come on. Oh. There we go, thank you. Thank you, thank you. Lovely. And then the other skill I'll have to do is make sure that I'm using my chakra properly, like only really using it for dashes. Like when you use a substitution, then you just quickly dash in, like that one. yeah, I'll just have to like, just be really like, really careful how you do it. Oh yeah, if you want, oh my goodness, it's so loud. If you're wondering what that sound is, just the boy doing the lawnmower. Because now that he's done all around the edges with the line trimmer, he's now wanting to like do the full lawn, so it's just like the most pristine thing ever. He's very like garden proud, or he's very lawn proud. Like, you know, he's now one of those guys that, you know, I need my lawn to be perfect. So when other people come, they're like, man, that's a nice lawn. Whereas I'm the kind of person where it's like, as long as the inside of the house is in the pigsty. I mean, obviously I wouldn't want the garden to be, you know when you go to, you know, you drive past some very unkempt places and their gardens are in absolute state, like completely overgrown. They've just got all manner of things just on the grass. Like, I would hate for my house to be one of those sorts of houses, but if it's not quite to that point, I'm not particularly like eager to. Oh my goodness. I hope that isn't too loud for you guys. What's he doing? He's just standing there. Oh my goodness. I swear. I swear. What the hell is he doing? It's one of those people that gets like distracted very, very easily. Like he'll be doing something and then suddenly, like one day he was doing putting out the washing, I think, and then suddenly he comes inside and starts like organizing something else, and I'm like, what are you doing? And he's like, oh, I'm just doing this. I'm like, what happened to putting the washing out? And he's like, oh, no, I'm doing that too, but just let me do this. Like he'll be doing something and then he'll see something else and then he'll just like, boom, just be doing that. Just go off and start doing that without no warning. Which I suppose is me to also to an extent. I do that to some extent. And there we go. Now we started off, I think. Okay, now we've got Shisui again, and Sasuke Eternal Mangekyo Sharingan. Right, I think these will be my last two fights, because we're at the 2-hour mark anyway. Sweet, and I've done 74 fights today, which is fabulous. Average is normally around 60 something, or 67 or 68 is normally the average. So anything above that is dropping those days down, the number of days down for the final day. I suppose when I do reach the end, that will probably be what I call the final day. It'll just be the final day. Won't be day, because I'm expecting it to be something like day 166, or day 165 even. That's what I'm expecting it to be. But I'll just call it, so rather than calling it that, I'll call it just the final day. Lovely. That's another skill that I actually need to be doing more, is when someone's like on a character that has both close range and long range stuff, when they hit them in the air and then as they come down try and get the trajectory of like firing a projectile or something to then knock them even further. Because I think that's how what I've noticed AI is doing sometimes. It will, if there's like a ultimate that like the trigger is like a long range thing, it will try and knock you in the air and then try and pull that off as you come back down, because you've got no way to block it. I don't think you can, when you're in that state. I don't think you can pull off a substitution. I don't believe. Bam. Lovely. Gonna cheese it like this. Lovely. Lovely, lovely. Oh, hello, welcome. You've called me just at the end of my stream, but I hope you're doing well. Right. In fact, no, I might actually I mean, I've got nothing else on today actually, so I might just do a couple more fights. Why not? Why not? Bam. Beans. Oh, come on. I gotta wait for this. Oh, come on! Lovely. There we go. Right, now I can go in for the kill. Now going for the kill, finally. Lovely. Okay, now I will do, this will be the final fight. Where are we? Young Tintin and young Sakura. Fabulous. Oh my god, my hand's starting to cramp up. Ow! Oh, that's right, and I do heaps of ultimates because this Tintin only really does actual proper damage. Even though she's got melee combos, which is stupid, she shouldn't. She only really does damage with ranged attacks, but she doesn't really have an actual proper ranged combo, which is stupid. So I'm going to be doing her ultimate like twice. Because at least her ultimate actually does damage. There we go. Fabulous. Alright. I think I will leave it there. So now, if I just update the list, it's now down to 400 and, oh my god, what are we at down to? 417. Okay. Lovely. Alright. I will leave it here for today. Methinks. So what's going to happen over the next week? So we've got tomorrow, I might do a couple more hours of East Origin because I'm thoroughly enjoying that game. I'm actually thoroughly enjoying it. It's actually so good. It's not normally the type of gameplay I would normally generally play, but I love it. I love it. It's great. But then next Thursday, oh, and I might even do another stream on Wednesday as well because I've got the day off on Wednesday. Oh, look at this. Oh, it'd be great. I might even do a Wednesday stream. Screw it. I might even do that. It's just gonna be streams all week. So the only days I won't be streaming will be tomorrow if I don't get around to it, and then Tuesday. And then Thursday will be day 42 of Naruto, and then Friday, Saturday, more East. I'm just gonna try. I just want to get through that series because I'm just so ready for it. And then day 43 will be next Sunday. But anyway, that's the schedule. And I thank you very much for joining me on this fabulous sunny Sunday morning. I hope you're having a fabulous morning, afternoon, or night wherever you are. But yeah, I'll give it there, and hopefully the lawnmower hasn't been too much of a pain. Do apologise. But I will see you all in the next one. Bye.